Welcome to Dalligan Talks NRL, and I'll be talking with Paul tonight about Origin 3, the big decider, a terrible thing for Blues fans. Look at some recent player moves, and one rumour going around that Kalyn Ponga is looking to go to Rugby Union. It's a very good afternoon, or very good evening to Paul Dalligan.
Good evening, Professor. Unlike last Wednesday night, certainly wasn't a good evening. I watched half the game and then decided whether or not to watch the second half. Of course I did. We love the sport. But it was quite an outcome, and no one can begrudge Queensland for their amazing efforts. I got it wrong on cont'd. I got it wrong on our amazing team on paper. I thought would be too good, but they weren't. So just a bit of an upset, but at the same time, should we be surprised after all these years, Professor?
Well, a couple of comments from our viewers, Paul, congratulated you on getting it totally wrong. And we would encourage the viewers to not only like the video, but also if you want to have a comment, we're quite happy to converse with you about what you think about our selections and our opinions.
Yeah, and I hope they were listening and watching when I tipped game 2 against all odds, Queensland winning that one. So I wonder if the same punters in the peanut gallery were following along after that bold prediction, Professor.
All right, Paul. Well, now, Billy Slater, he was being questioned after game 1 of Origin, after that loss, but he proved that he knew better. He dropped Daley Cherry Evans, replacing him with the game 3 man of the match, and Wally Lewis medalist Tom Dearden. That worked out. He elevated Cameron Munster to the captaincy. He inserted the hammer at the number 1 for when Kalyn Ponga was injured. He recalled Josh Papali and debuted Giamat Shibasaki. So he must watch this program, Paul.
Well, all of it was a masterstroke. I mean, dropping a captain, that took more balls than Keno, I think. One of the biggest ever moves in Origin history, and it paid off for Billy Slater. So I think the only person not doubting Billy Slater after game 1 was himself. So he rolled the dice, and a lot of eyebrows were raised. And what he did is made the right changes, whereas New South Wales stuck solid, and it certainly didn't pay off. They stuck with players that weren't performing and left out players that were. So that's where they paid the price, unfortunately. So that's where great coaching happens. Laurie Daley apparently safe for next year, which is a touch surprising, possibly due to the rule that club coaches can't coach Origin. Otherwise, you'd have your Ricky Stewart's looming and some other names as well, possibly even Michael Maguire for a return. But as it stands, you're not allowed to coach a club team and Origin.
One of our former Sportsfan radio commentators, Nick Tedeschi, who we always enjoy reading in the press, very outspoken about Laurie Daley shouldn't be coaching the Origin side.
Yes, and I think what he puts in print's not what I received from him, but I'm sure it's the same sentiment in what's written as what I received, but not complimentary at all. And he certainly had the best players at his disposal, so there's got to be some question marks raised as to why we couldn't get the job done. I think that the criticism of Nathan Cleary is a bit harsh, though, for a guy who's won 4 premierships back-to-back. The fact he hasn't produced on the big stage is there, but I don't think it's as big as an elephant in the room as some are saying.
Let's look at some player moves, Paul. The Bulldogs cleaning house. We've known about it for quite a while. Hooker Reid Mahoney has got a 3-year deal with the North Queensland Cowboys. Halfback Toby Sexton's off to Catalan Dragons.
He is, which I think is a touch surprising. I mean, would you mess with a winning formula? Who would have thought at the start of the year your Dogs are clear at the top of the table? And then what do? They go and sign a teen prodigy and disrupt a winning team. So whether it pays off or not is to be seen, but it's a touch surprising.
Well, and it's played out in selections this week. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but Toby Sexton relegated to the reserves bench.
He is, and perhaps that could be the way he stays, and he may not be playing again in a Dogs jumper.
Manly released Jake Arthur immediately, and he's gone to the Newcastle Knights. Surprised with that?
No, not at all. And what may happen is with Adam O'Brien on the hot seat coaching, apparently it's going to happen within the week. It could see Brad Arthur come back from England to coach the Knights and his son. All very interesting there at Knights Town.
Watch this space, no doubt.
It certainly is, yeah.
We've been talking about Selwyn Cobbo for quite some time. He can't break into that Broncos team. He's off to the Dolphins next year.
He is. They're just a salary cap squeeze there. It's quite a conundrum there they've got at the Broncos. Just too many outside backs and centres, as we're seeing with Shibasaki. And the money has to go somewhere. And there's just not enough to go around for Selwyn Cobbo, unfortunately.
Junior Tupou released by the Dolphins, and he's off to the Roosters until 2027.
Yeah, well, that's not a big surprise. But, the Dolphins have overachieved. But you can't fit them all in, Professor. And the one that I think is most interesting and emotional is Dane Gagai at the Knights has been their best player this year. Apparently, there's been a fan petition to keep him there for another year. So that's good to see. Reminds me of when the Rabbitohs fans, myself included, took to the streets to keep the team in the comp. The fans want Gagai there and he'll be back next year, it sounds like.
34-year-old Dragon player Jack de Belin. He's only known the Dragons. He's played his last game there as far as the Dragons are concerned. He's off to the Eels for 2026 with a club option for 2027.
Yeah, I can't really read the Eels, but that's a good outcome for him. Dragons making some room perhaps to try and lure a big name there.
The Eels not going with a youth policy, obviously.
No, which is surprising, given what they've done with Dylan Brown, not playing him. That was very strange what they did last weekend in terms of where they picked him. You've got a $1.5 million a year player playing a utility role. Perhaps that's just a sign to the future. But as you say, they've got on signed one of the older forwards getting around.
The other one that surprised me is you rarely hear of Storm players leaving, but youngster Grant Anderson, he's off to the Roosters with a contract till 2027.
Yeah, well, again, the Storm salary cap can only go so far. They've got some players coming out of contract. They're going to have to be careful they don't lose them to Papua New Guinea or the Western Reds. So maybe they're getting some money together to sign those big names. Pappenhausen and Jerome Hughes come to mind.
Kalyn Ponga. The rumour is he is off to Union, wants to leave Newcastle. Of course, he won't play the rest of the year for injury. That'd be a great loss to rugby league.
It would be more to the game, I think, than the Knights. He's a great player, but with the money they're spending on Dylan Brown, given he just hasn't been there enough in the last couple of years, I just don't think he's played up to his salary, which is, I think, is the highest paid player in the game at the moment. So he wouldn't, I don't think, be in my top 10 players in the game. So he just hasn't played up to the money he's been paid. If they do clear the decks, it'll allow them to sign 2 or 3 gun players or even up to 4 with an eye to the future. So he might be linked to the fact that O'Brien's leaving the club about to be sacked shortly. They're very close.
Let's look at NRLW round 2 from last week, Paul. You were on the ball, picked 4 winners, 1 loss, and one of your Nostradamus tossed the coin.
Yeah, that's it. Well, it was a good round of football and some good quality on show. There's some blowout scores, a bit of a worry for the code, but it seems to be what happens. There's some talent skewed at the top of the ladder, as we predicted before the season kicked off.
Yeah, the round kicked off with the Bulldogs playing the West Tigers, and the Bulldogs went to 2-0 in their first season. It's a very, very good start to a competition, especially when you're playing some more of the settled sides that have been around for a while.
Well, it is, and you've got the men's doing as well. So you got the Broncos, Roosters, and the Dogs there at the top of the women's comp. I think it will come down to one of the Broncos or the Roosters, as we predicted pre-season, but we will see.
You did say that the Sharks would hit back after a disappointing week earlier on. Sharks 56, Raiders 6. That is a thrashing in anybody's language.
Yeah, they're my smoky to win it all, the Sharks. So they're sitting quite nicely in 4th position, ready to strike, dare I say, the Sharks, Professor.
Fullback Emma Varane, one to watch for the Sharks. 4 tries. You've got to always watch somebody who is able to score that easily.
That's right. So she's one of the stars of the game, and it's a really good competition. It's getting a lot of eyeballs on screens and bums on seats as well. They're running it very well, as we knew they would. Roosters
24 to the Dragons 10. Amber Hall, she came off the bench. She is a wrecking ball, Paul. She was 5 metres out from the try line. She got the ball from the dummy half. She carried 2 players with her almost all the way to the fence.
It reminded me of Miley Cyrus on her Wrecking Ball song there, where she came on through. I think she was more talking about a broken relationship, but we've got a player who's going to break some bones, I think, the way she runs.
The Knights 26 got it back on the winning list against the Cowboys. That was your Nostradamus game. It got out to 26-0 at one stage.
It did. So that was, they're playing well, and it's good to see. Newcastle's a fine rugby league town, and the women are showing it as well.
Now, I did mention last week, could the Warriors make Auckland a fortress? The Eels, who I've tipped to finish in the top 6, went down 14-0, did not trouble the scorers. Might have to get the red pen out for the Eels.
I think you might have to for both codes as well, because and you could keep it in your hand as well for the next game, the Titans, who had lost 44-4 to the Broncos. I'll tell you what, we talk often about the Gold Coast not having a sporting team ever win. You can put the men and the women's rugby league into that basket of failed teams on the Gold Coast.
Now, I'd ask you to check the tape from last week, Paul. I would mention that last year, the Broncos beat the Titans 44-4, and my exact words were, I could see that happen again. Guess what the score was? 44-4. The accurate
one. And they say the Chinese culture, 4's unlucky. Not here, it's not. We're pretty happy with it here. So very well done, Professor. I hope you got some money on that. Would have paid something.
I wish I had. Tamika Upton, one of the best players in NRLW, scored a double, so she's back in form.
Oh, she is, and they're right up there for a reason, the Broncos.
Round 19 for the NRL, Paul, kicked off with Sharks 24, Dolphins 12. It was 6-0 at half-time. Nicho Hynes scored 2 tries and set up the last one in the 79th minute.
An inspired performance by Nicho Hynes, who, of course, has been overlooked for Origin. He's been copying a fair bit of flack in the media, given his salary and standing in the game, but he was absolutely amazing. And I think that it is my tip to make the grand final, the Sharks, from start of the season. Not saying they definitely will, but they're looking good. Wouldn't want to play them.
No, you wouldn't, Paul. Storm 32, Knights 14, no Munster, no Pappenhausen, no worries.
Yeah, that's what's brought the blowtorch to Adam O'Brien. I think you might find this is his farewell game on the weekend. We'll get to that shortly, but the Knights just not good enough.
Dragons 24, the Roosters 31, 18-19 at half-time, Paul. I thought this was one of the most entertaining games of the weekend.
Oh, it was a great game, and the Roosters missing a few players, but showing a lot of spirit, as they always do. Dragons just not quite able to get it done, but it was a good game, really good game to watch.
Roosters seem to be setting themselves for a run at that final 8, though.
Oh, they are, and they've got Sam Walker back, which is enormous for them as well. We know how important halves are in this game, so I think the Roosters are locked for the 8.
The Bulldogs and the Cowboys were locked at 12-8 at half-time, Paul. They didn't trouble the scorers in the second half. It became a defensive battle, and Galvin didn't play at all. Gus Gould said it was tactical.
Yeah, and that might explain why Sexton's gone. As good as the Dogs have been, it's more on the back of their defence. So I think they're looking to score some more points. And obviously with Galvin and Knights in the future, they've made the very, very brave call to try and disrupt a winning formula and disrupt team harmony to throw Galvin in. May leave some noses out of joint there, but let's see if it works this weekend.
The Warriors back to form at home in Auckland, 34 over the West Tigers 12. West Tigers really this season is something to forget.
They are, unfortunately. I thought that they'd fire a bit more over there, and particularly the Warriors missing their halfback, Metcalf, but you had the former Titans, Tanner Boyd, halfback step in, and he kicked very well. So if they're going to make a run at the top 4, and we'll be on the back of this Tanner Boyd, who's seems to be an astute signing from the Titans.
Only 2 points the difference between the Panthers and the Eels at half-time, but the class rose to the surface in the second half. Cleary started on the bench and scored a try in the 71st minute, so his dad didn't keep him off for too long.
No, and once he was on there, they looked a bit disjointed before he was there, but he certainly showed his class in that second half, which he didn't manage to get over the line in Origin, but way too good for the Eels.
Broncos 26 over the Titans 14. Shibasaki didn't score, but that try-saving tackle he made at the end of the game was just unbelievable.
Well, I've got to tell you, Professor, I don't know if you've noticed, but the odds we talk about occasionally, they're into almost the same odds as your Dogs to win the comp. So that's how well the Broncos are going. They are surging home. And I did say this a while back. I couldn't see them losing too many games before the season ended. That was about a month ago. I think I threw that one out there.
Yeah, and you'll be resting a little bit easier given their improved form over the last month or so.
Oh, they're playing very well, the Broncos, and I can see them going on a real run from here.
All right. NRLW round 3 this week starts on Saturday at 12:45 p.m, Paul, when we see the Raiders, who are 12th, take on the Eels, the 9th. Raiders, lots of changes. They've played twice, 1 win apiece. I picked the Eels for the top 6. They'll really need to win this one to get back in form. Raiders have got a minus 72 points differential, Paul. That's not very good. Probably why they're on the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah, I think it's a toss of the coin, as always, these type matters. But, Raiders, I think, will win at home. Very close, though. Hard to pick.
All right, another curtain raiser game, Paul. Saturday at 3:15 p.m. The Bulldogs 3rd playing the Dragons, who are 5th. Bulldogs have won 2. Dragons won 1 and lost 1. They haven't played. What are your thoughts about this one?
I've got the Dogs winning this one, I think, in a tight match.
Yeah, well, the Dragons lost to the Roosters. Their wins against the bottom Raiders. So I don't think you can take too much of...
No, I think the Dogs will get that done. And then the next game, I think the Sharks, my tip to win it all, will take care of the Cowboys at Shark Park.
And then we go to the Sunday 11:50 a.m. game, the 10th and 11th teams, West Tigers playing the Titans. One of these teams will get their first win, Paul.
Yeah, I've got the Tigers winning at Leichhardt Oval, the spiritual home of all things Tiger. So, Tigers are good things there, I think, at home.
And good to see that's another curtain raiser game. There's, I think, 3 curtain raisers and 1 post NRL game.
Yeah,
so plenty of value for the punters.
You wouldn't see the curtain raising more than that than Wizard of Oz, I reckon. So there we go. A lot of curtains being raised and a lot of substance behind the curtain in this code, because it's really impressing a lot of people the way they're running this women's comp with no comment on the AFL. But I really think they've got a great competition and they're adding good teams, and it's a good standard.
Sunday at 1:45 sees the top 2 teams play, Paul. The Broncos playing the Roosters, first versus second. Both teams unbeaten. It's the clash of the Titans, even though one of them's not named the Titans.
I was going to say no Titans there, but the Broncos going much like their male equivalent, and they're both firing. So I think the Broncos should take care of the Roosters. But a great game, and it could be a curtain or a preview for the grand final.
All right, and to round out the NRLW round and also round out Rugby League for the week, Sunday 6:15, 6th place Knights, who've won 1 and lost 1 against the 8th place Warriors, 1 and lost 1. It'll be interesting to see how the Warriors go back, flying back across the Dutch.
The Dutch, I've got the Knights winning this match at home, and a big day for Newcastle, particularly if the men's coach is going to be axed afterwards. So I think that they'll win the Knights.
All right, let's look at the men's NRL round 20. Kicks off Thursday night at 7:50. The Dolphins, who are 10th, playing the Cowboys, who are 12th. 4 weeks ago, Paul, the Dolphins put up 58 to the Cowboys 4. Can you see this game going any differently at Suncorp?
Oh, I think this will be a lot closer, but the Cowboys have found some form. It's just a bit surprising there with the Cowboys. There's 5 or 6 Origin players in that Cowboys team, so that's why you can't rule them out. But I just think the Dolphins, the way they're playing, and just keep an eye on Katoa, number 7, for the Dolphins. He could be an Origin half in the making when Cleary retires. He's only 21, so keep an eye on him. I think that they'll be too good at Suncorp for the Cowboys.
One of the matches of the round on Friday at 6 p.m, Paul, at Shark Park. The Sharks, who are 9th, playing the Roosters 8th. It'll be one to certainly have the television on, or if you can't get to the ground.
Yeah, I think it'll be a great game, that one. And I don't know if you can hear that, Professor. There it is. It might be a combination of Groundhog Day and Jaws, because I've been burnt on the Sharks before. But I just think that the way they're playing, the Sharks, they're just storming home, and they'll already be lining up there at Shark Park with their big cans of bourbon and Coke and whatever else they get stuck into. I might have been hit with a few of those over the years at Shark Park. Sharks, I think, are specials.
You got that bell? Just show us that bell. Give it a bit of a shake for us, Paul.
You can ring that one.
Very nice.
Again. So the way Nico Hines is playing, and they've got Chad Townsend in for the Roosters. That's what makes me a bit nervous if you're a Roosters fan. Nothing against Chad personally, but I just don't think that will upset the 6 and 7 of the Sharks. So there's the bell. And as always, Professor, I don't just ring it like wedding confetti. It's on a substantially priced selection. It's not one of your short ING odds type selections. So it's always a bit of value.
In May, Paul, the Rabbitohs beat the Panthers 28-18.
Right.
Can you see that happening?
I certainly can't.
Friday night?
And it should be a Royal Commission into the Rabbitohs. There's a lot of injuries, but really is a question mark on them. Cody Walker's out for the season, apparently. Just very concerned about what is happening there at the Rabbitohs. It doesn't seem to be a plan. They just aren't getting it done. So the Panthers will be too strong.
I think
even with Nathan Cleary being rested, I think we're no chance.
Well, I was going to say, I think it gives an idea of how the Panthers see the Rabbitohs as an opposition. Both Cleary and Yeo are out.
Probably their two best players. So that shows how bad the Rabbitohs are travelling. It's not good at all. You've got some queries on the Rabbitohs side as well. Lewis Dodd, the $800,000 a year Englishman, yet to play. That shows how the season's going for the Bunnies.
Saturday, 3:00. The Raiders in top position. I think will make mincemeat of the 15th placed Eels at Bruce Stadium. Josh Papali and Hudson Young's back for the Raiders. Dylan Brown out and replaced by Josh Papali.
Yeah, well, that's right. So I'm confident about the Raiders definitely at home. And with the Eels, it's just you've probably got a coach who's moving on to next year. It's probably one of their best players. Probably is their best player in their current lineup without Mitchell Moses there. So, just out of the team completely. So no mercy from Riles. Just wants to look to the future. But he'll be looking to the future very soon after the game starts because he'll be looking to next week.
When they played earlier this year, Paul, the Raiders put up 50 to the Eels 12. I could see a scoreline being probably similar to that.
I think so as well. The Raiders are storming home with a firm grip on the minor premiership. Who would have thought that at the start of the year?
Certainly not me. The 5:30 p.m. game, my Bulldogs in third place, Paul, playing the Dragons, who are 11th. They played earlier this year and the Dogs won 28-20. They might even win by more.
Yeah, it's just all going to turn on how Galvin and Matt Burton interact in the halves. Different type of players. I think they're upsetting a winning combination with Sexton. I would have used Galvin in a more utility role. But anyway, that's what they've decided to do. Let's see if it works.
Well, Crichton and Kurt Mann are back, so they have two very big ins for the Bulldogs.
They should have enough to deal with the Dragons, but the worry is they're just not putting that many points on the board. So we'll see what happens.
This is the game that Schooner's been really interested in all year. The Storm playing the Sea Eagles at Amy Stadium at 7:35 on Saturday night. A terrific end to the Saturday festivities for the NRL. Earlier this year, Storm 48-24, the Sea Eagles. It might get very ugly.
It could, the way that the Storm's playing. Pappenhausen's not there. Nick Meaney's at the back. But Xavier Coates is back, I saw, and Munster's as well. So it won't be pretty, I don't think, for the Sea Eagles. I don't know if Schooner's getting along, but it won't be pretty, I don't think so.
And the Sea Eagles playing the three Trebojevics again.
Yes, they are. And Lehigh Hapawadi at the back as well. But I just think the Storm will be too strong at home.
Sunday at 2:00, Paul, at the West Tigers' spiritual home, Leichhardt Oval. They're taking on the Titans, who are 17th. Could be a win for the Wests.
I think it will be. And a player to watch is Taylor May, brother of, who's brother of Terrell May, has been playing amazingly well this year. He got a hat-trick in the reserves, so he's coming in at centre. So he's one to watch, Taylor May. They're saying that he's a bit of a prodigy. So we will see what he does to that Titans team. Possibly he could be in line to score 4 tries, Professor Taylor May. Remember the name.
It is the battle of the also-rans, Paul. The red line has been through both of these teams for quite some time.
It has been, but I think at Leichhardt Oval, the Tigers should get it done.
All right, rounding out round 20 for the NRL, 4:05 game at McDonald Jones Stadium. The Knights against the Warriors. Kurt Capewell back for the Warriors. I think they should win.
Well, I'm surprised you're here. I put the neck out, the giraffe neck out, and I'm going to go for the Knights because I think with Dan Gagai as the captain, there'll be a lot of passion on show, and I think that most of them know, well, two things, that Kalyn Ponga's on the way out, it seems. They're going to play to show that they don't need him. But more so, it's going to be the last game, apparently, for their coach, Adam O'Brien. Great guy, but just hasn't got it done in a very, very passionate town. Some pretty tough power brokers there at the Knights. They've made finals 4 of the last 5 years, I think it is, but Gonski. So I think the Knights will rise to farewell Adam O'Brien in style.
I've got a difference of opinion there, Paul. Earlier this year, the Warriors won 26-12. I know it was in Auckland, but I think that gives us a bit of a sight on what might happen on Sunday afternoon.
It may well do, but since when do things go to script, especially this year? So I'm a big believer in emotions, so I am tipping the Knights at odds to win.
All right, Paul, thanks very much for your input. We'd ask the viewers to like the video and also subscribe. They're watching in greater numbers, Paul. We've got 300% increase on the week before's video. Just keep watching. That's what we implore the viewers to do.
That's what we want. And nothing AI here, nothing fake, all genuine rugby league passion on show for you, Professor, and the listeners.
Let's do it all again next week, Paul.
Good stuff. Thank you.